Hi, welcome back to class, and this is our final week in Intro to Sociology. And I want to start off by thanking you for working really hard this semester. I know I expect a lot, and the class can be difficult to follow at times, but as a class, you did a great job of staying on top of the assignments and doing what was needed to learn this subject. And I commend you for your efforts during the discussions. A lot of you did a really good job of logging on and actively participating and having meaningful posts and discussions that illustrated your knowledge of the concepts. I really believe that the discussion is a place that is ripe for demonstrating knowledge of a subject. So this week is our final week, and we do not have a Dropbox, but there is a little change to how the discussion is going to take place, and so I will go over this with you. What we have this week is we're going to have two discussions basically taking place, and so we will go over this. So first, you're going to start off by doing your typical responses to the week 15 discussion, and 3 different days, 3 different responses, for each thread, so a total of 6 responses. Then we're going to listen to a podcast about Nate Boyer and Colin Kaepernick, where you'll use the information from this podcast and a letter from Nate Boyer, who's a Green Beret, who wrote to Kaepernick. You're going to use this information to do your discussion. So there will be a final discussion with 2 threads, and for this particular discussion you can do your responses. I would still like you to do them on 3 different days. If you can't, I'm fine with you doing them all in one day, just due to the fact that this is your final discussion in the class. And then make sure your sociological biography is turned in by Friday. That is technically the last day of class, and anything after that will be late, and if it's not in on time, it will affect your final grade, where you won't get graded for it. So I'll show you how to listen to the Nate Boyer podcast. So there's an NPR link I posted here that has ex-Green Beret and NFL player on his role in reaction to the anthem protests. So this is Boyer and Kaepernick having basically there is a discussion that took place and a letter that was written. I want you to click on this and you can listen to it, or if you're a really fast reader, you can just read everything on the page. That will go over what's discussed in the podcast, but I do recommend you do both. Then there is a letter, a copy of the letter that was written from Boyer. And this is from the Army Times, so this is an op-ed. And this is what they're discussing in this, so I want you to read that. Then your final discussion. You'll have 2 posts to write on. So the first one is I want you to discuss something that you learned from the NPR podcast and letter written by Boyer, and explain how this information can relate to topics that we covered in this class. There is a 250-word minimum to this initial post. And the second one, I want you to discuss your main takeaway from this course. So what did you get from Intro to Sociology that you found to be the most important? And I want you to explain how this information can help you better understand yourself or your world better. So a lot of people will use this as an opportunity to discuss things that they didn't know about, before taking the class. But anyway, you're just going to discuss your main takeaway from this particular class. For this discussion, you can do all of your follow-ups. If you do it later on the week, you can go ahead and do them all in one day. I would prefer you to read everybody's posts and then still respond to 3 on 3 different days. But if you're pressed for time, you can go ahead and get that out of the way. Then we have the Knowledge Review Quiz 15. This will be up. And you have till Friday to do this. It's a very short quiz. And then your biography assignment. And at the end of this, you'll be done. So, again, if you have any questions, make sure you get back to me, and I'd be happy to answer them. And again, I want to thank you guys and commend you on hard work this semester. So have a great summer. Take care.